Okay, hello. Right. Third time lucky. I realise I'll need to get in the habit of speaking a bit better, and I need to stop waffling as much. Yeah, because although I eventually get my information out there, it's just not concise enough to be interesting. I understand that. So what I'm doing, I'm just going to keep doing these, and hope that I'm going to get better at it. And if I don't, well, it kept me out of trouble for an afternoon. What the hell? Right. Um, so what we're looking at here. This is my build for a relatively generic, but fairly historically accurate um, uh, Pike-based army. Right, I'm using Pontus as my army because it's not, you don't have all the fluff of all the elite units. This is all pretty middle of the road stuff. So yes, it does mean that if you're talking multiplayer, something like that, then by a lot of standards it would be a bit crappy, and you don't expect to win in a hurry. Now, it doesn't mean you couldn't win with it, but so to have a relatively generic equivalent, then I've used Epirus as the enemy, and so because it's the AI, there's nothing I can do about how it's actually set itself up, but it has set itself up in a relatively very loosely, in very loose terms. It has set itself up in a fairly generic historic manner. And what we're talking here is the pikes being your hard centre, hoplites to cover the flanks, hoplites and spears, and your strong cavalry on the right hand side, the side of prestige, with the general, and your backups on the left, because you need something to cover both flanks. So now, for Epirus, they've got elephants. So they've got one unit of African elephants that's it's put in the front, and traditionally that is where they would actually go a lot of the time. Now, what I was finding in my previous run-throughs, or when I say run-throughs, what I mean is my failed attempts at giving a presentation that was interesting. These elephants are just falling like flies against my slingers. So I've tried boosting them and then boosting them again to actually see if they can actually get it as far as my line, or if the slingers are going to get them every time. So what I've done this time, I've made the elephants 3 gold. So I've made them as strong as I can possibly make that unit. And so again, impractical for if you're talking multiplayer, but it's perfectly fine if you're talking custom battles and you're just having fun. That's because that would be a way waste of money if if that was multiplayer. But I should stop referring to multiplayer really, because what I'm looking at here isn't really a multiplayer. These aren't multiplayer builds. This is an attempt to look at things more historically, which. And because the game is not actually a simulator of ancient battles, it's a game. It's not a simulator, so we cannot get everything perfect. And so, like for instance, our assault troops, historically they would have started off with spears, then switched to swords, just like other units. But in the game, of course, we've got sword units. So I've got my mercenary Celtic warriors, my Pontic swordsmen, and over on the left flank I've got my hillmen. So yes, these are weak, and these are my prestige troops. Well, that said, I've got scythe chariots on this side, and that's another thing that people would say traditionally they would go in the front as well, the same the same way that the elephants are. I would say that's definitely true of Persian tradition. I wouldn't necessarily say that they have to go up front. Now, as you can see, I've put slingers up the immediate front. Then I've got a sizable gap to my main battle line. Now, so what I've got my levy pikemen, then my better pikemen, the bronze shield, towards the prestige, and on each flank I've got hoplites. Then beyond them I've got peltasts. And the idea of the peltast is that they are equally good at being anti-cavalry as they are at anything else. Now, historically speaking, they would quite often be able to perform a shield wall function as well as a spear unit, but in game I don't believe they actually do that. But but not to worry. And over here I've got some horse archers as well. That's so that's my cavalry, my general, and cavalry. And I've put Pontic Royal Cavalry over here. It's now it would actually be stronger if I put Royal Blood there, but since I've selected these, it's not going to matter. It's basically it's the second in command would be trying to control this flank, and the main general controls the prestige flank. It's I believe Alexander the Great, I think he had generals for the left flank and the centre, as well, and himself on the right. Okay, so my slingers, the idea I've got from slingers is that they're right up front, so they've got the maximum distance. And then because they're not armoured, then they're going to be able to retreat quickly. And when they start retreating, these archers here are going to be able to protect the slingers. That's or at least not. I suppose it's a bit wrong to say protect the slingers. It's more a case of offer a surprise attack to anybody chasing the slingers who actually come into their field of fire. Because when I say field of fire, it's, again, it's not something that I would consider particularly historic. But from a gameplay point of view, then I want to have maximum damage. And so my archers, I've got flaming shot. Basically, any unit that any missile unit that can do flame, I will normally choose that. Even the horse archers, flaming shot. Again, it's a case of to maximise the damage that they can possibly do. It's not a case of it's that balance between playing a game and it not being a simulator. It's if it was a simulator, then it's like, oh well, it's like we wouldn't really have all those flaming arrows, would we? No, we wouldn't. But it's a game, and I haven't actually decided what use I have for the scythe chariots. It's just basically a case of I quite fancied giving them a go. That's about the size of it, really. And like we say, we're talking about having fun. Although I could imagine playing the soundtrack to some Born to Be Wild or something, running around the field with these things. Yeah, must have been pretty badass. Okay, just a brief overview again. So as you can see, I've got my peltasts, hoplites, pikemen, hoplites again, peltasts, second row, any sword units, archers, and then cavalry. Now I'm very curious to see how these little fellas do. Because these are the ones, like I'm saying, my slingers. In the previous times that I've tried this battle formation, my slingers have just made mincemeat of them before they've come anywhere close. And I was hoping that they would at least be able to get into archer range. So, like I'm saying, I've maxed them out this time round. They're 3 gold. I'm hoping that's going to make them tough enough. I'll put it this way: if that doesn't make them tough enough to reach my line, then I think that's one of then I think elephants are going to have to be one of the units that gets rebalanced. Well, as everybody's aware, there are several issues to be resolved, shall we say, about the game. Now, I've got the enemy attacking. Otherwise, they just wouldn't. There's no two ways about it. If I attack them, they're just going to sit still until I come into physical contact with them, and that's not really, well, it's just not fun. It's just not fun at all. So I'm sure that's something else that'll get tweaked in due course. But to be able to play the game right now, it's much better to put them on attack and then just let them come and just let them come for you. So that's what we'll do. Oh, I missed my
They can talk passably well, but they fight lamentably. Excellent. They will pay for that failing today.
Straighten those lines, if you please. No untidiness.
Sorry about that. I missed the general speech there. Okay, my graphics settings. I've got these on very high. I can my machine can handle the extreme setting very well, although the fan does blow a bit. But because I'm streaming this at the same time, then I don't really want to blow up my machine. Although I'm sure it wouldn't, honest. Okay. See, but when you've got 40 units and your battle line is scrolling right across the map like that, you do wish that the main camera would be able to go up a bit higher. Okay, let's see what's happening here. Precision shots. How are these elephants doing? These elephants are coming. They're coming this time. Ah, they're starting to go. They're starting to go. No. It's even on full. Even on full. Oops. There. Okay. Suppress advice, that'll stop that from popping up.
Citizen cavalry! Commander! Right forward! Royal cavalry! Quickly now! Citizen cavalry! Awaiting orders!
Okay, as you can see, I'm not exactly good at giving a commentary while I start to do things. It's
Horsemen! Act yours! Gotcha!
okay, let's get some motion going, huh?
Back now! Pull back! Ready for orders. Melee cavalry at your command. We await your command. To the banners! Never surrender! Ready and waiting. Pack for glory!
Okay. Let's see how we do now.
targets!
By your command.
Understood!
We await your command.
Double time! Mark them down!
As you say.
Okay.
Argako! Contact Royal Cavalry! Strike fire! Orders understood! Report!
Yeah, it's about time we've got a general into action, I think. Well, as you can see, I've got my full line of pikemen. It's they
Forward!
At your service. By your command.
We await your command! Attack their position!
just go forward in phalanx. And there they are, sandwiched. Of course, I don't want to be sitting taking fire all day of these things. It's, if I was actually
Ready for orders! Charge!
second thoughts, coastal levies are they spearmen? No. I'd say they were swordsmen. Ah, hoplites. Oops.
Yours to command!
Too late, James. Too late.
Quickly now!
Okay. Let's bring our cavalry back.
Bronze shield pikes. Spearmen, let them ready.
Oops.
By your command!
As you command.
Up bridges!
And off they pop. Oh, okay. Obviously, it's like, as you can see, I'm being very, very casual, but it's but it is the AI. And if I'd tried that in multiplayer, you know very well, 30 seconds into the battle, I would have been toast. But yeah, it's but I just love coming up with these like historic formations and then playing around with them. And although the game's still got faults at the minute, and will definitely be getting improved over time, there's still lots of fun that can be had. Cost the victory indeed, because I was too sloppy and I was meaning to talk too much, but I ended up not talking enough, or we'll see. Well, as you can see, more than 5,000 troops per side. Yeah, you know, it's like some battles were that size back in those days. Obviously, there were some that were 10 times that size, but the people that are saying that there's not anything epic in the game, it's like, well, let it get ironed out first. You know, that it's like there's potential for lots of epicness in this game, and well, I'm having fun, even if everybody else isn't. So, catch you again. And that's it for the now.